World War I is often described as inevitable, a war waiting to happen, a conflict built into alliances, rivalries, and rising nationalism. But inevitability is usually a story we tell ourselves after the fact. In the summer of 1914, Europe stood on the edge of war, but it had stood there before. Crises had come and gone. Tensions had risen and fallen, and each time, diplomacy had pulled the continent back from disaster. So today, we ask a simple question. What if it happened again? What if World War I never happened? Before 1914, Europe was tense, but it was not collapsing. Empires dominated the continent. The British Empire spanned the globe. Germany was rising economically and industrially. Austria-Hungary struggled with internal divisions. Russia modernized slowly but steadily. There were rivalries. There were arms buildups. There were political crises. But there was also trade, diplomacy, interdependence. European leaders understood one thing clearly. A continent-wide war would be catastrophic. No one believed it would be short. No one believed it would be cheap. And most importantly, no one truly wanted it. In June of 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand was assassinated. History tells us this moment triggered the war. But assassination alone does not cause global conflict. What mattered were the decisions that followed. Austria-Hungary considered retaliation. Germany offered support, but urged restraint. Russia hesitated. France watched carefully. Britain sought mediation. In our timeline, fear overtook caution. Mobilizations escalated. Alliances activated. But now imagine a narrower path. Austria-Hungary limits its response. Serbia is pressured diplomatically, not invaded. Germany pushes for negotiations instead of blank checks. Russia delays mobilization. The crisis de-escalates barely. There is outrage. There is tension. But there is no war. The moment passes, and history quietly turns away from catastrophe. Without World War I, Europe avoids total destruction. No trenches stretch across France. No cities are reduced to rubble. No entire generation is lost. Empires do not collapse overnight. They are forced instead to reform. Austria-Hungary federalizes to survive. Germany continues its economic rise without humiliation. Russia modernizes gradually instead of collapsing into revolution. Borders shift slowly, through negotiation, not violently, through war. Europe remains tense, but it remains intact. World War I created more than destruction. It created resentment, humiliation, economic collapse. Without the war, Germany is never broken. There is no Treaty of Versailles, no hyperinflation, no political vacuum. Adolf Hitler remains a fringe figure, or never rises at all. Without Hitler, there is no Nazi Germany. Without Nazi Germany, there is no World War II, no Holocaust, no global war of annihilation. The most violent chapter in human history is never written. War accelerates technology, but at a terrible cost. In our timeline, World War I and II drove rapid innovation in weapons, industry, and science. In this timeline, progress continues, but more slowly, more deliberately. Aviation develops for travel, not bombing. Medicine advances for public health, not battlefield survival. Industry grows to support life, not mass destruction. There's no nuclear arms race, no Cold War standoff, no constant threat of annihilation. Technology serves society, not fear. Without World War I, the modern world map looks very different. The Middle East is not carved up by distant powers. Colonial systems unravel gradually instead of violently. Decolonization happens through negotiation, not war. The United States remains influential, but not dominant. Global leadership is shared. Power is balanced. Conflict exists, but it is limited. The 20th century in our timeline was defined by violence. 2 world wars, genocide, Cold War paranoia. In this timeline, the century is quieter. There are crises, There are regional conflicts, but there is no global collapse. Civilization never organizes itself around mass war. Entire cities are never rebuilt from ruins. Entire generations are never lost. History moves forward without resetting itself through destruction. By the modern era, the world feels familiar, but less fractured. Global institutions evolved earlier. Diplomacy matured instead of militarizing. Borders still exist. Politics is still messy. Human nature remains unchanged, but the world avoided its greatest mistake. A single war that reshaped everything never happened. World War I is often called the war that changed the world. But in this timeline, the war never came. And because it never came, everything that followed never needed to happen either. History did not become peaceful. It became restrained. It did not leap forward. It simply did not fall backward. In this world, the bloodiest century in human history never existed, and the modern world you know was never required to rise from its ashes. History didn't end. It chose a different path. Which moment should we change next?